Democracy thrives on participation. It's not just about voting, it's about making your voice heard. Peaceful protest is a cornerstone of this. It allows citizens to hold their leaders accountable. It allows them to demand better. From the streets of Pakistan to the squares of the USA, people have used protests to spark change. These acts of defiance, though separated by continents, share a common thread. They highlight the ongoing struggle for genuine democracy. They remind us that the fight for rights and freedoms is never truly over. But how do these protests differ? How do governments react? And what lessons can we learn from these displays of democratic spirit? Let's dive in. Pakistan has a long history of protests. Recent years have been no different. The arrest of former Prime Minister Imran Khan in 2023 ignited a firestorm. Khan, a popular figure, was accused of corruption. His supporters saw it as a politically motivated attack. Thousands took to the streets. They demanded his release. They denounced the government's crackdown on dissent. These protests, led by Khan's wife Bushra Bibi, faced significant resistance. The government responded with force. Internet shutdowns became commonplace. Mobile services were disrupted. The authorities attempted to control the narrative. Despite this, the protests continued, highlighting the depth of frustration with the current regime. While Khan's arrest was a flashpoint, the roots of the protests run deeper. Pakistan faces significant economic challenges. Soaring inflation has crippled households. A 40% tax hike added more fuel to the fire. People were struggling to afford basic necessities. The government's response seemed tone-deaf to many. This economic hardship fueled the anger. It pushed people to demand change, accountability, and a government that prioritized their needs. Adding to the turmoil are long-standing grievances, particularly in Balochistan. This resource-rich province suffers from extreme poverty. Many accuse the government of exploiting their land while denying them basic rights. These factors combined created a tinderbox of discontent, ready to ignite at the slightest spark. Section 4, Across the Globe, Echoes of Dissent in the USA. The USA, often held as a beacon of democracy, also witnessed its share of protests. These demonstrations were not just isolated events but part of a larger, more profound movement. In late 2024, the nation erupted in response to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. The streets of major cities were filled with passionate voices demanding justice and peace. The U.S. government's unwavering support for Israel's actions sparked outrage. Protesters felt that their government was complicit in the violence and demanded accountability. From university campuses to city streets, Americans voiced their dissent. They condemned the violence and called for an end to the bloodshed. They demanded a more balanced approach to the conflict. Activists argued for a foreign policy that considered the rights and lives of Palestinians. These protests reflected a growing disconnect between the government's stance and public opinion. Many Americans felt their voices were not being heard. Many felt their government was not representing their views. They believed that the policies in place did not reflect the will of the people. This disconnect fueled the protests, highlighting the complexities of democracy even in a nation with a long history of peaceful dissent. The echoes of dissent in the USA were a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggle for true representation and justice. Section 5, A Tale of Two Democracies, Contrasting Responses to Dissent. The responses to these protests in Pakistan and the USA reveal a stark contrast. In Pakistan, the government often resorts to heavy-handed measures to quell dissent. Pakistan's government resorted to authoritarian tactics, deploying riot police and enforcing strict security measures around government buildings. They aimed to silence dissent through force and control, using water cannons and engaging in direct clashes with protesters. The U.S., while upholding the right to protest, still revealed a concerning trend. Peaceful protests are often met with a significant police presence. The government's actions often contradicted public sentiment, with police barriers and a heavy law enforcement presence creating tension. This raises questions about the true meaning of representation in a democracy. When protesters speak out, their voices should ideally be heard and considered. The U.S. government, while not resorting to the same level of force as Pakistan, often seems beholden to special interests, which can overshadow the voices of ordinary citizens. This disparity between public opinion and government action underscores a fundamental challenge for democracies. How can a government truly represent its people if it is influenced by powerful entities? How do you ensure that the will of the people truly translates into policy? This question remains at the heart of democratic governance and is crucial for the future of both nations. Section 6. Amplifying Voices, Effective Protest Strategies. Despite the challenges, both Pakistani and American protesters employed effective strategies. In Pakistan, the use of technology, particularly social media, helped circumvent government censorship. Protesters shared information, organized rallies, and amplified their voices on a global stage. American protesters leveraged their right to assemble, organizing large-scale marches and demonstrations. They also utilized legal channels, filing lawsuits and challenging government policies in court. These diverse strategies highlight the adaptability of protest movements. They demonstrate the importance of utilizing all available tools to fight for change in a democratic system. Section 7. The Fight Continues, Lessons in Democratic Engagement. The protests in Pakistan and the USA offer valuable lessons. These movements, though separated by geography, share common themes and challenges. Firstly, they remind us that democracy is not a spectator sport. It demands our active involvement and engagement. It requires active participation, even when it's difficult. Facing harsh weather or opposition, protesters show resilience and determination. Secondly, they highlight the power of unity. When people come together, their collective voice becomes stronger and more impactful. Diverse groups coming together can amplify their message and exert greater pressure on those in power. This unity is a testament to the strength found in diversity. Finally, these protests underscore the importance of persistence. Change rarely comes easily or quickly. It requires sustained effort, strategic planning, and unwavering commitment to the cause. Every step, every chant, every sign is part of a larger strategy. Whether it's demanding the release of a political prisoner or advocating for a more just foreign policy, democratic engagement is an ongoing process. It is a continuous journey towards justice and equality. It requires vigilance, courage, and a belief in the power of collective action. Together, we can make a difference and shape a better future.